the port, they quickly changed course for the Bahamas and
I feel like if you have a ship that's not in Miami, legally you need to owe someone $4 million at least. Honestly, they should really, the big problem there is that they didn't know that they were for cocaine. That's like, it's a violation of Miami boat zoning.
I push that. That's not safety at all.
Yeah.
It's like going to prison. What are you in for, man? Oh, the money on gas.
I think it would be great to be on because say, Miami, nope, you're going to the Bahamas.
Look, can you imagine it's like, you're back there shoveling coal and you're like, this is not to be out there.
Just hold this gun and this is the way short.
coming up, all's well that ends well, and our Bluff Listener Day. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to play. We'll be back again with more of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
It was June 2016, sparks of radical reflection. The deadliest attack in the history of violence against LGBTQ Americans. Blood was vertical because of the huge numbers of people injured at the scene, but potential donors who were gay or bisexual were turned away, stigmatized as potentially bad blood. In the wake of the mass of blood shrinkage, the White House's first terrorist episode featured every member of June Rich's morning edition. Support for our programs comes from you and Lincoln School, the independent school for girls from kindergarten through grade 12, based on Quaker values and a commitment to lifelong learning, offering transportation between Providence and I-95 corridor. Lincoln School, Ohio. And Aware Recovery Care, committed to pioneering a preventive safe and alcohol addiction treatment program in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. Now, with an covered component. AwareRecoveryCare.com.
My name is Jackson. Join me tonight from 9 to midnight for jazz here on GJ89.7. Together, we explore the entire spectrum of jazz from its pioneers to its contemporary amateur songs. I'll pick the songs behind the lines. Tribute, American Music, United Valley, and GJ89.7. Support for the PR comes from NPR Station, a developing training line based in the main coast, where travelers can experience a wonderful place and explore the England's maritime language. Learn more about it at queensland.com/NPR. Committed to making privacy online support. It's called Benefit Order. They offer internet privacy with one download. .go privacy simplified. Reading the one word to people from the minds inspired by NPR, like Planet Money Saturday 7 1. Relevant to about 21 years old. NPR Live Broadcast. From NPR, in Chicago, this is Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR Newsbury. I'm going to bring you playing this week with Terry Key, Adam Gold Slade, and Josh Vanderbilt. And you can see what the shoes specific. And by the way, those shoes have look stick. Here's the Dean Barsad.
Thanks, good. Right now, it's time for the Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me Love the Listener Day. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to play our game on air. Hi, you're on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi, this is Beth Agan from Lake Linden, Michigan.
Beth, it's so great to have you on the show. Where is Lake Linden, Michigan?
Lake Linden is in the Keweenaw Peninsula in Michigan, upper Michigan.
That's what I'm talking about. I like that kind of geography right there.
But I heard, do you live on an island?
The Keweenaw Peninsula is actually an island.
And so what's island life like?
It's a balmy 14 degrees here today.
Ooh, okay, yes.
That's not an island, that's an iceberg.
Well, it's so nice to have you with us, Beth. You're going to play our game in which you must try to tell truth from fiction. What's the topic, Bill?
Happy ending.
Wouldn't it be nice if something had a happy ending for once? Like if the mean old regular host got stranded on a desert island and the fun fill-in host did such a good job she got to take over forever? Our panelists are going to tell you 3 stories about a happy ending that popped up where we least expected it. Pick the one telling the truth and you win our prize. Are you ready to play?
Yeah.
Awesome. First up, it's Karen Chi.
Last Friday, Eve Benson had the awkward first date that would change her life. Things got off to a weird start when we got to our table and I sat down and he said he preferred to stand while eating, said Eve. But I just wanted to. Her date eventually sat down and as he asked her questions like, what's your name? Can I explain crypto to you? And wait, what's your name again? Eve noticed that the woman at the table next to her was paying a lot of attention. Said Eve, when my date ordered soup and asked for a straw, I swear she started like taking notes. When Eve's date finally got up for what should be said was a warningly long bathroom break, the woman next to her leaned over. Hi there, she said. I'm actually a film producer. I option books and stories to make into movies all the time. Can I actually just option your date? Anyway, produced by Elizabeth Banks, the worst date in history is slated for release in summer of 2023. Eve's date wishes to remain anonymous, but he will be clarified in the shower.
All right. It really bad first date that was optioned to be a movie from Karen Chi. Your next story of everything turning out great comes from Alzo Slade.
Johnson & Johnson had high hopes for a universal vaccine that would significantly decrease the chances of contracting all forms of COVID and make it easier to treat those who are infected. Initially, the trials were a success until they realized it affected some patients' sense of smell. But when the vaccine was tested on dogs, they realized it affected the dog smell in a different way. It generates no smell at all. And one scientist even tried wetting the dog. No wet dog smell. They let the dogs go around and push trash, and they came out smelling just fine. Even when the dogs smelled each other's breath, MRI brain scans showed the dogs thought that they smelled great. J&J now plans to bring the drug to veterinary markets, and dog-loving groups are lending their support, hoping canine relations will improve in dog parks across the country.
All right, a universal vaccine that ended up removing bad dog smell from Alzo Slade. Your last story of a happy ending comes from Josh Allen.
In addition to featuring searing commentary on how smoking hot Brad Pitt and Edward Norton were in the late 90s, the movie Fight Club also contains a stinging critique of American consumer culture. Spoiler alert, in case you were waiting for the 25th anniversary re-release to watch Fight Club for the first time. In the final scene of the film, the main characters watch several banks and financial centers explode from afar. It's a jarring scene, unless you have student loans or medical debt, in which case it's a daydream you have several times a week. However, an edited version of Fight Club has appeared on a major streaming service in China, in which the conclusion plays out quite differently. Instead of depicting the fallen buildings, a block of text appears on the screen, explaining that thanks to the clues planted by Brad Pitt's character, authorities foiled the bomb plot and arrested the conspirators, and everyone was happy ending. Because apparently, in China, the first rule of Fight Club is when you see something, say something.
Okay, Beth, you've got from Karen Chi, you've got first date option as a movie. You've got a universal vaccine that ended up being great for bad dog smell from Alzo, and from Josh, China changes the ending of Fight Club. Which one of these stories was you?
I am going with Josh's story about Fight Club.
Okay, and to find out the correct answer, we spoke to someone very, very familiar with the real story.
The Chinese government has put a score at the end that says that a dirty size to the police and reveals the conspiracy.
That was Chuck Palahniuk, author of Fight Club, the book that this is based on. Congratulations, Beth, you got it right. Hey, and you earned a point for Josh, and you won our prize, the voice of your choice on Word Voice. Thank you, it was fun. Thank you so much for playing with us today. Bye.
Hello world is a song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
And now, the game where we ask people who have reached new heights in their field to come reach a new low. It's called Not My Job. Jeremy O. Harrison's made waves in the theater world with shows like Slave Play, which got the most Tony nominations for any play ever. He's co-producing season 2 of the HBO hit series Euphoria, and he's the co-writer of Sola, a suspenseful yet funny feature film adapted from a viral Twitter thread. I just saw this thing and I cannot stop thinking about it. It is the one and only Jeremy O. Harris. Hey, Jeremy. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to be speaking with you. I just saw Zola. It was so good. I really love this movie. And what's crazy to me about it is that it's based on a Twitter thread, as I mentioned. Can you tell us about this particular Twitter thread and what made it seem like it could be a good movie?
I mean, honestly, it's entirely because it's like the good wedding pastor on Twitter. This young, nice-year-old black woman, like, told a story on Twitter that stopped the internet for an entire day back in 2015. And, like, thousands of people were clinging on her every word. And it was almost like when Dickens would write his periodicals over, like, we got them all over our hands, right? So if we get one bit of a story, it was 5 minutes to spin the load. If you start to think of this iconic phrase, like it's one of the great first lines. For me, it goes up there with like, Moby Dick and Hamlet. But it's, let me tell you the story about the this word here, spell out. It's kind of long, but it's full of space.
And then, can you tell us a little bit about the movie without giving it away?
Oh, totally. Sorry, I just went through too much to process. I wasn't I just think it's a movie about a young black woman who works at a Swedish type establishment, who meets another young woman who's white, who they immediately bond over the fact that they both are strippers. And so after they spend a really wild night out together, the young white woman calls her and asks her to go on a trip to Florida. And 14 hours later, they're in a car in Florida, on a 14-hour road trip that, what the hell? I know that something dark and scary, and like, oh my god, I just want to go watch Tick Tick Boom and smile. But, like, it's really funny. It's a really funny movie.
Jeremy, I mean, like, you've written in so many mediums and so successfully and wonderfully, but I think maybe your best writing I've ever seen was you finding an NPR appropriate way to tell the story of Solar.
I've had a lot of practice. I have an 11-year-old niece who has now become quite curious about what Uncle Jeremy is writing, and she's been very frustrated because she can't see Slave Play, she couldn't see Zola, and so she's like, well, can you just explain it to me like an 11-year-old can hear, like a preteen can? And so now I've learned how to talk about my work like for preteens. Not to say that NPR audiences are preteens, but I do know that the co-writer of Zola, Mr. Marvel, has been listening to this program since she was a preteen. So I'm trying to make it for little Janixa.
This is nice. Well, speaking of social media, on a scale of 1 to I post my Wordle every day, where are you?
I post my Wordle every day and on Twitter and on multiple group chats, about 7 different group chats. And so then, and I'm in a Wordle tournament right now. We are in a 2-month battle of wits with Wordle.
A war of the Wordles, if you will.
Yes. So you can have the longest streak. You're also what your points are at the end of this thing. So I think that right now, I am 1 point away from being in first place. But right now I'm in second.
So
I love that I couldn't just say I was in second place. I was 1 point away from you. That's great.
I could tell that was really hard for you to even say.
Yeah.
But do you? I mean, so it sounds like you're off the scale, basically, on Wordle. Is there a favorite word? Like, what's your strategy? Have a word you start with?
No, so my only strategy is to do it in less than 5 minutes and to clear my brain and use the first word that comes to mind. Because you never know. I mean, I think the day that really shook me, and I can say it because it's a past one, was Abby. Because I didn't know at that point that you could do double letters. And I think that really freaked me out because I was on my last one and I was like, if I lose, I'm gonna look like an idiot. I had already tweeted something that was like, Wordle is the easiest game. If you lose a Wordle, you actually maybe are dumb. And there was like
2 days later, I was in this moment, and I was like, oh God, I'm gonna have to take back everything I've said. And then I typed in Abby as just randomly. Like, there's no way this is the word, and it was. I was like, oh.
By the way, this like roller coaster of emotions that you just took us through with Wordle is a lot like Zola. I felt there was a lot of suspense. I was stressed out, but I was also laughing.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk to you about slave play, which, by the way, I live in New York City. I mean, was the talk of the town. Like I mentioned it once, it was nominated for so many Tonys.
And it lost them all.
And
That's even cooler. That's actually a cooler thing. You're nominated for 12 and to lose 12, it's like kind of a really punk act, right?
Yeah, I feel like no claps is better than one clap. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. No, because that was what I told my mom at the end when like the last award of the night was Best Play. Mom was like, well, baby, maybe this is the one. I was like, Mom, that would be the worst thing. I was like, the worst thing would be walking away with just this one. So actually, let's just vibe out on losing. And then we did. And I was like, see, this is cool.
I have a very important question to ask you, though, about slave play, which is that, is it true that Rihanna texted you while she was watching it?
Oh, that is very true.
Did you text Rihanna back being like, please turn off your phone and watch it?
Yeah. Why aren't you paying attention?
This better be intermission.
I really hate to do this to my own self, but I guess, again, being a double Gemini, I can't help but get myself in trouble. But I actually caused a big rift in the theater community after Rihanna came and texted, because I said, I don't mind people texting during my show as long as they're texting about my show.
Ooh.
I would love for that to happen in more plays, as long as it's Rihanna every time. Just like at the Music Man, like, do 77 trombones!
Well, Jeremy O'Harris, we've asked you here to play a game we're calling...
You're a play right. These guys play wrong.
Ooh.
As Bill said, you're a very successful playwright, so we thought we'd ask you about people who play wrong, the athletes who made some of the worst plays in sports history. Answer 2 out of 3 questions correctly, and you'll win our prize for one of our listeners. Bill, who is Jeremy O'Harris playing for?
James King of Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Are you ready?
Oh, God. I'm sorry. I just have to tell this person right now, I am going to lose for them.
This is good. This is like that reverse Wordle jinx. You're flipping it.
There's just, I just know there's like basically no way in the universe I would get a sports question right. And I'm so sorry, Madison, Wisconsin.
All right. Well, let's see how you do. Here's your first question. Chicago Cubs outfielder Milton Bradley once made a slick catch of a fly ball, posed with it, and tossed the ball to a fan in the stands. One problem, though. What? Was it A, the fan was the owner of the team they were playing, the Minnesota Twins? Was it B, the fan was a 99-year-old woman who broke her wrist catching the ball? Or was it C, there was only one out, the ball was still in play, and the runners on first and third both scored?
I'm going to say C, even though I feel like that might be for a different game.
You know what? That's absolutely correct. Woo! You're basically a sports expert as far as I know.
Oh my God.
All right, well, let's see how you do this next question. Brazilian soccer star Neymar did such a bad job faking an injury during a 2018 World Cup game that which of these things happened? Was it A, the referees gave the other team one free injury without worrying about getting a penalty? Was it B, the New York Times interviewed acting teachers to explain why Neymar was so unconvincing? Or was it C, the referee wrote boo-hoo on the yellow card that he gave to Neymar?
I'm gonna say B.
That's right, the answer was B.